But the point is, this guy, how did I know for a decade he was a Fed? And anytime I get a call on air, you traitor, you don't want to kill all the black people. You're not like the great Hal Turner. I would say, number one, I don't want to kill all the black people or kill all the Jews or, you know, gas the Mexicans or whatever, like this guy's saying every day. Number one, that's not what I'm into. Number two, if he wasn't a Fed, he wouldn't be allowed to say that. And then people got sick of him and hacked his email, and it's all him with the FBI. Oh, I'm going to set this person up. Oh, don't worry, I'm saying all this rhetoric. We're going to catch more of these people. He was a total Fed, but not just to bust dangerous radicals that are going to do violence. He was there, they had him there to stir everybody up and try to actually get the violence going. See, it wasn't the Feds posing as this, because there were real cases with him and others where stuff actually happened and they did nothing. It was only once he was blown as an asset that he was like used toilet paper, and they wanted to get rid of him. You understand how this works? It's the same thing with a lot of these black radicals saying kill the whitey and Metcha and groups like that. It's all meant to get everybody stirred up fighting with each other instead of the globalist, instead of the little man behind the curtain. They want to put us in a gladiatorial ring like this table right here and get us fighting with each other. I mean, it's so elementary. It's divide and conquer. And so when somebody was always calling me out because I wasn't for violence or offensive war, that's because they're trying to stir up some type of violent event. The Feds have got to stage their own Oklahoma so they can demonize all opposition to their tyranny. Let's certainly not carry one out for them. I mean, this is so simple. And I told you Hal Turner was an FBI agent. I told you that over and over again. He was above that. He was a national security asset operative. National security level, above FBI. And who did he work for? He was a producer for Sean Hannity. #2 radio show in the country. There it is. Documentation emerged in 2008 exposing Turner as a FBI operative. Hal Turner rise in fame as a most blatant hate talk radio host, self-proclaimed neo-Nazi anti-Semite who hinted at the need, he didn't hint, he said kill them, to eradicate Jews. Turns out to have been fronting as a typical FBI COINTELPRO sting operation, writes Richard Evans. Hackers, again, got into his email. No, he was saying kill judges, kill people. This is what they do. So I know it when I see it, and thank God the Hatari, they just got him on a drive to some machine gun shootout, contest thing in Kentucky. They got him to say, yeah, we may have to have war with them if they attack us. Well, it's not illegal to say if Nazi Germany or Soviet Russia came to America that we're going to resist tyranny. Somebody tries to illegally arrest you without a warrant, tries to use NDAA on you. A whole bunch of states are passing laws or have already passed laws saying if the feds come to the police and say secretly arrest Alex Jones or somebody else, don't just say no, arrest them. Torture's illegal, even if the feds say it's okay. Secretly arresting people and disappearing them into black holes, illegal. I don't care if you pass some crackerjack law you got out of a crackerjack box. Again, you can read Kurt Nemo's original article, The Strange Case of Christopher Sickles and the Hatari Militia. Whew, man, I've tried to fight these people for 17 years. I mean, back when I would have like movie events at the Alamo Drafthouse a few times a year showing films, I'd be signing DVDs, and twice guys that were obviously cop builds would come up. I could assess them, that's a cop. Kind of like driving down the road, you see some chick in a miniskirt sticking her hips out by the side of that. Well, that's a hooker, Drive by a lake, a bunch of ducks swimming around. That's a duck, And they walk up and they go, listen, things are getting really bad. How about we just go down and start shooting some police? How's that? I'm like, you can't do better than that? Hey, guys, get a camera, follow this guy out to his unmarked police car. Oh, you're running. Yeah, you better get out of here. I mean, listen, let me tell you how criminal the government is, okay? Not the whole government, but the people at the top. And you got good people in the police and FBI and others right next to the criminal divisions that actually carry out the evil. I was trying to build a veteran, a new house, and I got sucked into this. Wasn't my PR idea. This guy calls me, he says, I'm a World War II veteran, decorated, Joe Campana. I've lived here. I don't have any money. My family's all dead. And they're trying to take my property. And it was on a street that was gentrifying in Hyde Park, actually where my mother grew up, a few streets over. And he owned like an acre. And they wanted to take it and build a high-rise there. You know, a bunch of condos, we later learned. And it turned out he was right. And he goes, they're trying to bulldoze my house tomorrow. And I'm like, all right, I'll be out there. I get there. They got the bulldozer. They're going to bulldoze it. I'm on my radio show via the phone, my daytime show. Listeners show up. Cops show up. And the cops don't want to have something on their hands. It was reasonable human beings. You know, they were like, hold on. They check the permits. You know, come back tomorrow. The bulldozer operator, when he realizes what's going on, he doesn't bulldoze the house. And then this is how I got into this. We're like, we're going to fix the house. My listeners are. And the city's like, no, it's condemned. You can't. Now, there it is, Austin American Statesman. And the guy living in a shack. By the way, it turned out we learned for a decade he hadn't been getting his VA benefits. Didn't know how to fight the bureaucracy, so his money hadn't been coming. He picked up cans all over that area of North Austin and lived off ramen noodle and a little garden he had. No money. Turned out he had all these silver stars, you name it. I mean, he was like in the Pacific Theater, atomic testing veteran, and he died a few years after we built him a new house. But the point is, so he said, okay, we'll build him a new house, was the idea of listeners. And a city record, 14 days, permitted it, because first the city was against it, but after everybody showed up, in the middle of him building his new house, one of these undercover cops shows up. And it turned out they were involved with the local mafia groups and government wanting that property. They'd already decided they were going to get it. And they tried to, like, first get me to talk about killing police for no reason. And then they tried to start fist fights while the media was there, all in setups. I mean, this is how dirty tricks works. And I'm like, to the cops off duty, I mean, undercover, I'm like, we can't even build a veteran a house and you guys are out here doing this? Technically, it was 14 days to build it. I don't like the unluckiness of 13 days, but I guess America's 13 colonies. But look, anyways, there was a debate of whether it was 13 or 14. I said, let's just go with 14. And it's not lucky. It reminded me it was 13. I remember all that. So much of this show, teleprompter free, it's just me going back to the archives of my memory. Now, there's Joe Campana right there. Right over there. And it turned into this big media circus. And for me, that's a microcosm that we had to go through. The cops trying to set us up. First, the cops stopped them bulldozing the house. That was good cops. Then bad guys come in and who were from the bad units and try to set us up. And then they're going to bulldoze it anyways. We stand in front of the bulldozers. You make a movie out of this. And then suddenly all the city council people and veterans groups were there acting like it was their idea once it was all done. I mean, that's just a microcosm of people in the wrong can't stand up against men who are in the right who keep on a-coming. Another great annal from the adventures of my life. Okay, continuing here, getting into other news, because I've spent way too long on that. My earpiece is itching like the devil, man. Wow. Like they dipped it in itching salts or something. Oh, this is a communal earpiece? I told everybody, buy like 20 earpieces and have them hung on the wall for Aaron and others when they do it. I'm not even a clean freak, but give me a break. I mean, it's kind of creepy sticking this in my ear here, now knowing where it's been. Aaron, we've got McBreen in here. Oh, my gosh. Well, that's unsanitary. I've told them buy 20. How many earpieces we got around here? You know what I call it around here when they don't do it? I ask them over and over again, even though they're great. I call it victories. They're little victories against me. I'm like, hey, these pieces are $10 a piece. Buy 20 of them. They're like, we're not doing it, pal. It's not going to happen. That's just the way it is. So shut up. We're going to show you who's boss around here. Oh, man. All right, continuing. U.S. military, and we're going to get Burmis on about this because he's the guy who sent us this article and he's all into it. U.S. military funds effort to hack video game consoles. Really, they're going to hack themselves. Kinect, made by Microsoft, is all about dominating society. It's all about tracking and control. Of course they want to use it in drones. Of course they want to use it in face scanning crowds, because Microsoft isn't giving us this high-tech NSA technology for nothing. This can see through walls in your house, voice print, face print. It's total control, and we're just inviting this in. The new Samsung TVs are coming out, tracking everybody, listening to everything you're doing in your home. Google admits they're doing it. Big Brother's on steroids in your face, like the CIA director admitting everything you're doing in your house is being watched. Now, here's a really wild article we talked about in the little promo intro. Super strength substance closer to human trials, myostatin. And it is some type of, I guess, manipulated synthetic hormone that just makes your muscles continually grow out of control, even more than antibiotic steroids. And it's going to be great for folks with muscular dystrophy and all these other problems. And it's going to be great for livestock to get more meat. But what are the side effects going to be? I mean, Schwarzenegger can barely walk and had his heart out a couple times, trying to live. So more of the life extension technology, really a Superman drug. You know what? If I want to get bigger muscles, I'm going to run upstairs and lift weights. I don't want bigger muscles. I want to lose weight. But the point is that they sell all these great things. It's wonderful, but who knows what is really behind it. But that is an interesting little tidbit of news. Continuing here, mysterious booms return to Clintonville, and they're a lot louder this time. But the government first said they weren't happening. When seismographs picked them up, they said earthquakes. Now they're just saying we're removing the equipment. Don't worry about it. Go back to sleep. City officials, not servants, have hoped to bring closure to the mystery after U.S. Geological Survey reported that the town had suffered a 1.5 magnitude earthquake on Tuesday last week. However, residents reacted with skepticism, noting that the booms occurred before the earthquake and were also felt 80 miles away in a different town. So, hey, don't be conspiracy theorists. Your house shakes every night. Government said, forget about it. They've been caught lying thousands of times. Believe them. Take more vaccines. Eat more GMO. Believe known liars. Be trendy. Don't be a conspiracy theorist. Go along with the system. Every week or so, I learn of someone's girlfriend or friend who's young getting cancer. One of our crew's girlfriend just got cancer at a young age. You know what? It's part of the freedom. Go with it. Don't ask questions. They care about you. They care about you. I want to help you. And now, before we go to break and come back with the one, the only, love him, hate him, he's thought-provoking, David Icke. And now for our quote of the day before we talk about World War III, Lord Acton, who said power corrupts and absolute power corrupts absolutely. Well, here's another quote. The issue which has swept down the centuries and which will have to be fought sooner or later is the people versus the banks or the money changers. Not your local bank that actually loans you some money, but the mega banks that issue the money. That's the issue. Double entendre. Now, one more piece of news here before we go to break. Rand Paul stands between U.S. and war with Iran. And Rand Paul right now is blocking sanctions that really have war powers hidden